Around Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court, which is getting crazier and murkier by the moment. It's a 36-year-old allegation. It is apparently impossible to disprove, even according to Kavanaugh's accusers, who have explained he can never clear his name no matter what. Francie Hakes is a former DOJ National Coordinator for Child Exploitation and Prevention and Interdiction, and she joins us now. Francie, thanks a lot for coming on tonight. So since you've spent your life prosecuting, looking into crimes like this, what's your assessment of this allegation?
Well, Tucker, it's interesting. As a prosecutor, I look at allegations that are generally only he said, she said, with two factors. One, what is the level of detail of the allegation? And I got this from children as young as 4 all the way to adult men and women. What is the detail in the allegation that indicates veracity? And number two, is there a motive or bias to make up a false allegation? And here you have to say that, at least in the respect of how it's being treated, it looks very political. When it comes to the level of detail, I have to say it is lacking. I do not want to accuse Dr. Ford, and I'm not accusing Dr. Ford of lying. All I am saying is, if I was assessing this as a prosecutor, this is not a case I could bring.
Huh. So what, I mean, since the calls right now, tonight, by Democrats, and needless to say they're being amplified by their puppets in the media, are to get the FBI to investigate this, to ask the president to tell the FBI to investigate this crime. If you were investigating it as a former prosecutor, where would you start based on the facts that we now have?
The only thing you can do in this case, in my opinion, Tucker, is talk to her and talk to Judge Kavanaugh. There are no allegations of exactly when this happened or exactly where it took place, what the other circumstances were at the party. And so I do not understand how the FBI could be expected to look into something that is, first, outside their jurisdiction, but second, 36 years old, without any level of detail that would allow them to dig in and investigate.
So can we take those calls as credible or sincere?
I don't think so. It looks to me to be very political, Tucker. I mean, at this point, you've got an 11th hour allegation. Well, really, it's a 13th hour allegation, if you will, because it's after the hearings were closed. There was plenty of opportunity to ask Judge Kavanaugh about these allegations before they were brought out last week by Senator Feinstein. What I'm most troubled by is that you have a bare allegation on paper. Remember, at this moment, it's paper. The public has heard nothing from Dr. Ford. And so it is a paper allegation that looks to me like it is designed to bring down Judge Kavanaugh, certainly to ruin his life and reputation. And we don't do that in this country without due process.
Well, we certainly do it quite a bit now, I've noticed. Francie, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Over on CNN, commentator Simone Sanders has staked out a brand new position by wanting to hear testimony about allegations of abuse from Christine Ford. Republicans are somehow saying that sexual abuse doesn't matter.
I think what the Republicans, not just on the Senate Judiciary Committee, but Republicans in the Senate at large are doing is wrong, and so is the Republican president. They are sending a message that sexual assault, allegations of sexual assault do not matter.
Lisa Booth is a senior fellow at Independent Women's Voice, and she joins us tonight. So yesterday, Lisa, you probably saw this. Mazie Hirono of Hawaii, a U.S. senator, junior senator there, said that it's not just Brett Kavanaugh is guilty. All men are guilty by definition because they're men. And it's not just that we should believe Ford, but all women because they're women. Is that kind of the core of the feminist promise?
It's railroaded and he's innocent. That's a huge problem. We should care as a society about getting that right and having some balance here.
But isn't the idea that we don't punish the innocent, that we don't believe in collective punishment, punishing because you're in a group that you didn't choose to join? I mean, aren't those kind of the core promises of America? Why are all these rich and powerful people suddenly saying the opposite?
Well, they should be, Tucker, but even to the broader point of wanting an FBI investigation, as your previous guest said, what is there to investigate? Christine Ford doesn't remember when. She doesn't remember where. She doesn't remember how she got there. She doesn't remember how she got home. Yet we're supposed to believe the veracity of her most central and critical claim that Judge Kavanaugh attempted to try to rape or assault her simply based on her gender. And that is wrong. And these allegations are for 36 years ago. And if that's the premise, the precedent we want to start moving forward, then someone like Cory Booker, who wrote in his college paper that he tried to take advantage of a drunk 15-year-old girl, that means he's disqualified from running for office in 2020 or president. This is ridiculous, Tucker. And I think we've reached peak insanity as a country. And it's really important to take a step back, to examine the facts, and to look at and realize that Judge Kavanaugh's life also hangs in the balance, and innocent men could get swept up in this entire movement.
People are terrified in this country right now, not just guilty people, but innocent people, decent people. They're afraid. They're afraid of the mob. The left is out of control, I think. Lisa, thank you.
I agree.
very much.
Thank you, Tucker.